Okay, here we go. The next section we're talking about today is going to be the law of cosines. Now, yesterday we did the law of sines. The law of sines is used for angle, side, angle, 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 side, and side, side, angle. Yes? Those are what we use the law of sines for. Today we're going to be doing the law of cosines. My time. My time. Law of cosines is going to be used for side, 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 or side, angle, side problems. So if you're giving all three side lengths, you're going to use law of cosines. If you're giving the side, angle, side, two sides with the angle in between, you are going to be using the law of cosines as well. Now, they're very easy to memorize, and the reason why I say that is because if I'm looking for a squared, I'm going to have b squared plus c squared minus 2 times bc times the cosine of that. So it's always the sides that you have added together minus 2 times them multiplied together times the cosine of that, okay? So, but your brain needs to make sure that you're understanding that a is actually equal to the square root of this jazz, yes? Okay?
That's for side, angle, side?
Side, angle, side, or side, side, side. That's when you're going to use law.
Be either one.
Correct. Or.
But what's the alternative for?
Law of sines are going to be your 3 other possibilities. So you only use the law of cosines if it's a side, 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 or a side, angle, side. Okay? Now, if I want to find the angle, you have to make sure you take the cosine inverse of that. Yes? The cosine angle of that. All right? You'll see in a minute. You're making a mountain out of a molehill. You use the law of cosines for only 2 triangles. Side, 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 and side, angle, side. That's it.
But isn't A already known?
You will be given all 3 sides, or you will be given 2 sides with the angle in between. That's the only scenario that you can use this. Let me give an example here in a moment. Before I go on to that, we also have area of a triangle. So if I have side, 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 or side, angle, side, Heron's area formula is what you are going to be using. That is going to be S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C, the square root of all of that. But how do I find S? Take all the sides, add them together, and divide them by 2. Okay? So that is going to be the area formula. Now, let's do number 1 out of tonight's homework. Tonight's homework is this. I'm going to do number 1 for you right now. Okay? So out of tonight's homework, you have to find all 3 angles and all 3 sides. What did they give you? They gave you all 3 sides. So since they gave you all 3 sides, you know that this is a side, side, side problem, which means it's the law of cosines. Does that make sense? That's the given information. So it is a side, side, side triangle.
Would you use alternative formula then?
You're going to, yes.
That's what I was asking.
I said you have to use both formulas.
Should the angles be written on the left still, or do you want those?
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. Okay, so now I have to find the angles. So if I'm doing the angles, that means the angle A is equal to the cosine inverse of, that is going to be B squared, which is 8, plus C squared, which is 12, minus 2 times, nope, I just said that wrong, minus A squared. All over 2 times 8 times 12. Okay? Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. I find the calculator to be the easiest in this situation rather than using Desmos. I truly feel the calculator is easiest. So I'm going to use the calculator. So if I come over here, I want a new document. No, I do not want to save the other document. I want a calculator page, and I want it to be in degree mode. Okay? So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to type trig. I want the cosine inverse. Okay? And then I'm going to hit Control Division key. So I have a fraction right away. And my value was 8 squared plus 12 squared minus 8 squared, no, minus 6 squared. Arrow down, 2 times 8 times 12. And that is going to give you 26.4. 26.4. Okay, so I come back over here, and this is going to be, angle A is 26.4 degrees. I did. Now, same exact thing, but we have to find angle B. Angle B, still using the law of cosines, is going to be the cosine inverse. This time it's going to be A squared plus C squared minus B squared, which is 8 squared, all over 2 times 6 times 12. Yes? And just have that formula sheet out with you the entire time as you do this homework assignment. Don't freak out about memorizing it. You will memorize it as you do it, I promise. So I'm going to come back over to my calculator, trig, cosine inverse, control division key to get that fraction, okay? Then I'm going to have 6 squared plus 12 squared minus 8 squared, arrow down, 2 times 6 times 12. And hit enter, and that's going to give you what? 36.3 degrees. And that's going to give you angle B. Now, how do I find angle C? Jack.
180 minus 36.3.
Now, I just heard the same thing. You can do the same thing if you want. Here's the thing. And the reason why you say that is because we're using only information that we had rather than using information we calculated. So it technically would be better for you to use the law of cosines again so that you know that you're getting the correct answer. But I'm going to trust my calculations, and I'm going to say that angle C is equal to 180 minus 26.4 minus 36.3. And what does that give you? 117 point what?
3
degrees.
I did the same last night where I used what they gave me instead of using what I found.
It's totally fine. It's totally fine if you use what they gave you.
Ready
That is
for
the
this.
best way to do it to ensure that your answers are not dependent upon anything else. Bless you. Any questions on number 1? Are we all good? Okay, the next one I'm going to do is going to be number 9. Number 9. Now, if we're doing number 9, it gives you degrees, minutes, and seconds. Now, I want to make myself very clear on this, okay? I am not concerned about the degrees, minutes, and seconds as much as I'm concerned about the application of law of cosines. You with me? So if you get every problem right, but you miss the degrees, minutes, and seconds, do I know that you understand this process? I know that you get it. What I know that you struggle with is the degrees, minutes, and seconds, which is punching the correct keys on the calculator. That is not an issue for me. Do we all understand that? So what can you conclude from what I just said? There probably won't be a lot of degrees, minutes, and seconds because that does not ensure understanding. That only knows that you know how to use the calculator. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to not have it on the test. That means that the point value may not be as heavy on there. You with me? Okay, with that being said, the next thing you have to do is you need to look at this and say, okay, here's my triangle, A, B, C. They give me side A, which is going to be 26. They give me angle B, which is going to be 8 degrees and 15 seconds. And they give me side C, which is 18. What can you conclude about this triangle? What is it? It is a side angle, side triangle, which means I immediately am going to be using the law of cosines. Now, you're going to have to use both versions of these formulas. You with me? So what one do you want to find first here?
B.
Most students try to find the side lengths before they find the angles. It does not matter. It absolutely does not matter. Okay? So if I go ahead and I find side B, B is going to be equal to the square root, yes? The square root of 26 squared plus 18 squared minus 2 times 26 times 18 times the cosine of 8 degrees in 15 minutes. Yes? Do we all see that? Now again, Desmos does not do degrees, minutes, and seconds, so either use the Calculate 84 app on your calculator or on your cell phone, or use the graphing calculator. If you're in class, grab the graphing calculator.
Can I take one home,
No.
please?
No. Okay, so the square root. This is going to be 26 squared plus 18 squared minus 2 times 26 times 18 times the cosine. Now, if you're using my calculators, where do I get degrees, minutes, and seconds from? To the right of the 9, there's my degrees, minutes, and seconds, and this is going to be 8, 15, and then how many seconds are there? 0.
Do you have to put the second in every time?
I do believe you have to. I don't think it'll calculate it without. So, this wants you to go out 2 decimal places, so what is letter B going to be?
8.58.
Okay, so that's letter B. So now what? I have to find angle A. So angle A is found by taking the cosine inverse of, that is going to be a B squared, which is 8.58 squared, plus a C squared minus an A squared, all over 2 times B, times C. And that's the formula. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to hit cosine inverse, control division key, 8.58 squared plus 18 squared minus 26 squared, arrow down, and this is going to be 2 times 8.58 times 18, and hit enter. Now, I'm going to go ahead and round this decimal to 1 place. You with me, to the tens? So I'm going to have 154.3, and I need to convert that to what? Degrees, minutes, and seconds. How do I get that? I'm going to click my book, and under the angle, I'm going to convert to DMS, and hit enter. And it gives you 154 degrees and 18 minutes.
How do you do that?
On your calculator app,
Oh,
or on there, it doesn't matter, it's the same thing.
Oh, I see, DMS,
Hit
right where the
second.
angle is.
Second angle.
Is it
So if you hit
154,
second
18?
angle.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Second.
Oh, whoa.
Right by your thumb, right by your thumb.
Wait, you said you used 154.3?
154.3, and that is equivalent to 154 degrees, and then how many seconds did we say? 18
But
minutes.
there's a lot of other stuff going on.
There is a whole lot of other stuff going on. There's a ton of other stuff going on, because if you just go straight to the decimal, this decimal right here actually goes on forever. So if I do that one to degrees, minutes, and seconds, it's
But
going
I
to give me a really nasty one,
Yeah,
right?
but I did 154.3 to DMS. It gave me a bunch of random stuff.
I don't know. Mine did not.
Were we supposed to do this last night too with the DMS?
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. So now we have this right here, and I'm going to use the 154 degrees in 18 minutes. It's just nicer, it's prettier, and makes everything a little bit easier. So 154 degrees in 18 minutes. So now, how do I find angle C? Well, the way I'm going to find angle C is by taking 180 degrees minus 154 degrees in 18 minutes minus 8 degrees and 15 minutes. So if I come back over to my calculator, that's going to be 180 minus 154. Actually, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to grab that. Minus 8.
17 degrees, 27 minutes.
You don't have to write it out the full length, actually,
Now I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna convert this
or completely ignore me.
to DMS. Patience is a virtue. Relax. Some people are gonna do this on their homework and I need to make sure they understand it, okay? So, if this is how you would have done it, you're going to get this fractional answer. If you get this fractional answer, just go ahead and grab that fractional answer and convert it to DMS, and it's not going to be an issue then. So 17 degrees and 27 seconds. Minutes, thanks. Now, what did you say?
You don't have to write out the whole DMS, you can just do degrees and minutes, and then it'll automatically wipe out the seconds.
Yeah. I mean, I
Why
would,
are you putting the 0 in?
because I always want everybody to know it's 0 seconds.
Well, yeah,
as a placeholder.
No, because it's not even showing seconds.
Okay. Do we understand number 9? Any questions on that? Yes? Are we good? So I did a side, 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 and I did a side angle, side one. Now let's go to the last concept that you're going to have on your test or on your homework tonight, and that's going to be Heron's formula. Heron's formula is going to be talking about finding the area. So if I'm finding the area of this, that means I have to be given all side lengths, and it's going to ask me to find the area of this. So in order for me to find the area, I have to find out what S is. S is found by taking A plus B plus C and dividing it by 2. A plus B plus C and dividing it by 2. So that's going to be 5 plus 8 plus 10 divided by 2 to give me a 23 divided by 2, which is going to be 11.5. That is your S value. Okay? So now that I know what S is, how do I find the area? Well, the area is the square root of S times S minus A, S minus B, times S minus C. So that's going to give you 11.5 times 11.5 minus 5 times 11.5 minus 8 times 11.5 minus 10. Come over here and type in the square root. 11.5 times parenthesis 11.5 minus 5, was it? 11.5 minus 8.
Yep.
And then 11.5 minus 10?
You forgot that.
Was it 10?
Yeah.
And close. Now, did I get all of them correct in there before I hit enter?
I believe.
So your area is going to be 19.81. And that's done then. Does that make sense? Tim?
Are 19 through 24 all area?
Yes. Okay. Any questions?
What's our unit of measure in this area? Just
They
units
don't
of
actually
measure?
give it. They don't say what it is. It really does not say what unit it is, so you just need to understand if it would be centimeters, it'd be centimeters squared. If it'd be inches, it'd be inches squared. If it'd be feet, it'd be feet squared. It does not give a unit of measurement in this context. Okay? But just know, so you know it would be squared. Any other questions? Okay, I'm done for the day.
Homework.